my phone is pinging here. All right, hold on. Let me put that on mute and play this. Enjoy the intro.
Well, thanks for your time. Thank you for doing this. Sound okay? Everybody hear me back there? Yeah. Great. Fantastic. Listen, let's just get right to the point. This was an apocalyptic security failure. A man was murdered in front of his family. 3 people were shot on live television, including President Trump in the head, who came within 2 millimeters of having his head explode on national television in front of millions of people. There's no sugarcoating it. It's no time for BS. Unfortunately, as Congressman Crane and Mills both indicated, the story seems to have been vanquished to the phantom zone of media coverage. It's amazing how we're still talking about JFK's assassination, but nobody seems to want to talk about President Trump being shot in the head on national television,
January
despite
6th.
the fact that we have no answers. So I have 5 minutes, so I want to keep it quick, and I want to make 3 points. I worked in the Secret Service for 12 years. I loved it. I worked with some really amazing men and women who gave everything. I mean, a couple of them literally gave everything. I know guys who've gotten bizarre diseases overseas, like chikungunya fever and protection operations. Everybody gave a little bit of something in the Secret Service, and it was a real honor to say I was part of it. But they have 3 institutional problems, I believe, in the macro will help us get to the bottom of how this Secret Service apocalyptic failure won't happen again. First, they have...
It may or may not ever happen again. And I think I know where Bongino's going with this. This was his intro statement to hearings that occurred yesterday. It was deliberate, obviously, at this point. I think most people with half a critical brain understand that. I'll let this play out. I'm going to shut my big mouth for the next 2.5 minutes. This is amazing what he says.
Have a technology problem. The joke in the Secret Service, which is just sadly no longer funny when I was there, and it wasn't funny then either, is they rely on yesterday's technology tomorrow. Think about that. Yesterday's technology tomorrow. Everything from computer systems that waste agents' times, filling out time and attendance records they were doing, to Congressman Crane and I discussing the fact that they only implemented slings, a technology as old as the wheel, about, I don't know, 5 or 6 years into my time in the Secret Service, which is embarrassing. The weaponry was old. Everything was old. These are things I would have talked about sooner if they didn't create a security crisis, and I obviously didn't want to air them publicly. Now you're seeing what happens when you don't have a drone up at a site you could have bought for $39.99 on Amazon. Second, another adage in the Secret Service, you've heard even the new acting director discuss, is the more with less approach.
This is amazing.
There is no more with less. There's less with less, okay? The Secret Service more with less approach only works if you produce more. That's how capitalism works.
But more with less is what you do when you're stranded on an island fighting for survival. It's not what you do when you're trying to provide security to the most threatened and politically most valuable person on earth. More with less. Are you on a tight budget there, Secret Service? I said I'd shut my mouth. I'm sorry.
You produce a flat screen TV that was probably 20 years ago, $10,000. It's $200 at Walmart now. They produce a better TV with less. That's not what the Secret Service did. They produced less with more. They were given more money and produced less. A 20-year-old criminal outsmarted them on a $40 drone technology piece of device.
I think it's actually unfair to them to say that the 20-year-old outsmarted them. It's like if you leave an open wallet on the sidewalk without surveillance, nobody's outsmarting someone in terms of how they steal the money. They're just acting like an opportunistic parasite, vulture, scavenger. Crooks did not outsmart anybody. He exploited the windows and the channels that they gave him. Outsmarted. Outsmarted implies that he did something that was remotely of intelligence. Oh, climb on an unsecured roof is not outsmarting anybody. Okay, I said I shut my big mouth.
You're telling me that's more with less? That's disgusting. That's nothing with less. That's less with more. Their budget went up. You guys know, you're appropriators. You know that. Third, and I'll wrap it up with this, turn it over to Mr. Prince. The investigative mission, the Secret Service, that they're telling you they need to make them better agents is total crap. That's garbage. Their agents are talented, smart people. They can figure out how to do protection without running out cheap $20 counterfeit notes at 7-Eleven on a Friday night while the president's getting shot in the head. How is it we have a DEA, we have an FBI, we have TIGTA, the IRS, CBP, and 1,000 other entities with a $6 trillion budget, which I know a lot of you guys have been fighting against this grotesque spending. $3 billion goes to the Secret Service, and we're wasting time running out counterfeit notes. It's a serious problem, counterfeiting. Granted, it might be a legacy item. They started doing counterfeiting. That's not what we do now. Get rid of the investigative mission, turn it over to other people, let them do what they do best and should do best. Protection. Thanks a lot for your time. Thank you for doing this. Thanks to the panelists as well and everyone attending. Appreciate it.
Testify, Dan Bongino. I love it. You're not doing more with less. You're doing less with more. You got a freaking budget. No, we don't need a drone. We turned down local security's offer for a drone. We don't need to be on the same channels. Oh my goodness. We don't offer, what is it, counter snipers if it's not within driving distance from DC. I don't want to make any mistakes in the way I describe this. Less with more. We're doing more with less. Oh, yeah, that's what you do when you're doing home renos and you're on a fixed budget. These freaking things they're not on any fixed budget. They're on an unlimited ballooned budget. And yet somehow. All right. Good afternoon. It is 12:30. Yes, good afternoon, everybody. First of all, I learn, and I believe I'm trying to learn how to be a better, whatever it is that I'm doing here, commentator, podcast, or whatever, by watching Bongino. I love his thought process is amazing. His delivery is amazing. And the way he does his ad reads is amazing. It's fantastic. Anybody who's interested in this domain, you have to learn from the best, and Bongino is the best in all respects, as far as I'm concerned. Respectfully submit. I'm not trying to kiss anybody's butt. He's amazing. And you see the thought process of someone who thinks critically and applies critical thought to lived experience. And it makes for amazing analysis and insights and blistering critique. You're not doing less with more. You're not doing more with less with more. But I know that Bongino is a little bit not reluctant, but he's cautious to jump to conclusions, as most people should be. And I'm not jumping to any conclusions. I may have come to this conclusion a lot earlier. We're going to find out that this kid was on the radar and was known by, and I might even say, either trained by or observed by and allowed to do exactly what he did and failed at doing. All right. The knowledge that Bongino has of things through lived experience and through the ability to think. Knowledge is the gift that cannot be taken back, people. And if you're interested in learning, the best place to do it is Hillsdale College. Time is our most precious commodity, and I've heard from so many of our listeners who've asked me for advice on how they can spend it wisely to improve themselves and help them get smart. History, economics, the great works of literature, the meaning of the U.S. Constitution. Did you study these things in school? I didn't. My biggest learning curve is doing exactly what I'm doing now, which is why it's the biggest blessing to be able to do what you would otherwise be doing and make a living doing it. It's the greatest blessing to be able to have a job that allows you to continue learning. I didn't learn any of this back in the day, and I wish I had. Technology has changed a lot of things, but they have not changed the basics, fundamental truths about the world and our place in it. I'm tired of scrolling through shows, looking for stuff and finding nothing but the same mind-numbing content. You've probably been there too, so don't waste your precious time on that nonsense. Instead, go to Hillsdale College. They're amazing. Hillsdale College, it's free courses online. You can sign up for what you want, do it at your own pace, and it's knowledge, and you get it, and no one can take it away from you. I personally recommend you sign up for Constitution 101, the meaning of the U.S. Constitution, if and when I ever become a U.S. citizen. I think I'll be able to explain the amendments, the importance of the amendments, in particular, the First Amendment and the Second Amendment, which protects the First Amendment, as we're seeing right now with some of the stuff we're going to talk about today. 12 lecture course, you'll explore the design and purpose of the Constitution, the challenges it faced during the Civil War, and how it has been undermined for over a century by progressives and liberalism. The course is self-paced. You can start when you want, end when you want. Enroll now. Constitution 101. Our country needs more Americans and the occasional Canadian who understand the Constitution and can defend the freedom of the American people against encroachments of an increasingly large and unaccountable government. Go to hillsdale.edu/Viva to register. Hillsdale.edu/Viva so they know from whom you came. And that would be me. Bada bing, bada boom. Everybody. Yeah, not progressives, regressives. It's regressive progressivism. Here, let me bring that one up. So if you're new to the channel, first of all, I don't think many people are new to the channel. Good afternoon. Weekly, daily shows Daily shows at 12:30. I might have to break from the schedule for the first time since committing to it tomorrow because I'm going to be doing an Unusual Suspect. We might end at 1 o'clock. So I'll see about the schedule. But one thing for certain, tomorrow, 3 o'clock Eastern. You guys know who Ashton Forbes is? He's the guy who's put forward a very interesting theory about the MH370 flight. Let me make sure I haven't made a mistake on the flight number. MH370, the MH370, the Indonesian flight that disappeared without a trace. Ashton put forward a very interesting theory with some interesting analysis, and it led to some interesting discussion on the interwebs. Ashton is going to come on at 3 o'clock tomorrow. We're going to talk about it. Thursday, making sure I don't forget the schedule here. Hold on. Thursday, who do we have? Ivan Raiklin is going to be coming on talking about January 6th. Ivan Raiklin, if you don't know him, go check him out on Twitter. He's the guy that you see sitting behind Fauci at these congressional hearings. It's Ivan Raiklin, Raiklin. He's coming on Thursday. So we got an amazing lineup for the rest of the week. Although tomorrow, Wednesday, we might have to break from schedule. What are we going to talk about today, peeps? Zuckerberg telling us what we all already knew. I think I had the interesting take. I'm not interested in the interesting take, but the insightful take, because when I read that letter from Zuckerberg, we're going to go over it. I'm like, this is stuff that we all already knew. It's stuff that Zuckerberg had already said, but is now bringing it up yet again in the wake of this Pavel Durov arrest by the French authorities, who have denied him consular protection from Russia on the basis that he's a naturalized French citizen, which they are now saying trumps any foreign interest in terms of making sure that they're treating him properly, whatever. Apparently they have to either charge him or release him within 48 hours of the extension that was granted yesterday. Probably touch on that ancillary. Talking about Zuckerberg, talking about Kamala Harris, and a bunch of other fun stuff. Now, we're live on Rumble, we're live on YouTube, we're live on Twitter, and we are live on vivabarneslaw.locals.com. I should have made sure that we're good here. We are. And Viva, now that Zook has admitted his crime, has he opened himself up for a class action lawsuit? Diva Marine, we're going to get there in a second. Oh, we're going to get there at least. And if I don't remember it, remind me when we get there. We're going to start on YouTube, Twitter, Rumble, vivabarneslaw.locals.com. Then we end on CommieTube. May or may not end on Twitter at the same time. And we have our after party at vivabarneslaw.locals.com. So that's it. That's everything. If you want to get some merch, by the way, I should probably do a better job pitching our merch. Let me see if our newest thing is in. Oh, it is in. Yes, Surrey Bub. I cannot wait to get my own merch. It's coming. It's in the mail. Check it out, people. It's election season. Damn, this makes me kind of want to run for president with Barnes. Or at least maybe I'll run for, like, I don't know, governor of Florida later on down the line. You go to Viva Frei, Vivafrei, and the merch is here. This is the merch. It lasts forever. I've been wearing this and only this for about, 2 years now. I actually have no shirts except for merch shirts, but the Viva Barnes campaign is up. And then we got Viva. Oh, look at this. Look at this. You get the bumper stickers because we're above average. Well, I can't see it. It says because we're above average anyhow. And then we got Don't Vote for an Idiot, Kamala Harris, and all the other stuff. So check that out. By the way, while we're talking about Don't Vote for an Idiot, let's start with this. Kamala Harris is an idiot. She's the biggest idiot on earth. But an idiot and a demon are two different things. Like, you can be an idiot and still be a good person. Let me rephrase. You can be an idiot in the not intelligent sense and still be a good person. You're not a bad person because you're dumb. You become a villain when you are both dumb and malicious. And then the question is whether or not she's actually dumb or just malicious. It doesn't matter. But it's so bad. Oh, let me bring. I'm going to bring just a video that I put up in, because we're going to go from her being an idiot to her being evil and villainous, as are the so-called progressives, who are demonic, evil people, the liberals, capital L and capital D Democrats, in the way that the new talking point was out yesterday about Trump's appearance at the Arlington cemetery for a ceremony for the 13 fallen soldiers who died as a result of Harris's and Biden's botched withdrawal from Afghanistan. You'll understand the line of attack when we get into it in a second, but just to start off with a little humor, Kamala Harris, there's a video, it's from 2021, it's a couple of years old, few years old, of Kamala Harris cracking an egg with one hand. It's being recirculated now to show what a personal, wonderful person she is. I had to make a bit of a response video, wearing a salty cracker shirt. Check this out.
There's a video of Kamala Harris going around that she cracked an egg with one hand and like is some sort of hero.
Okay.
You can do it one-handed.
Yeah.
You're a pro.
Yeah, come
You
on
just
now.
put them right back.
Okay.
Come on now.
Wow.
Yeah. Huh?
Yeah, okay.
Just so everybody appreciates, it's not that hard to crack an egg with one hand, and you don't want to waste any of the egg white. You'll notice in the video, just waste egg white. Like it doesn't cost $3 a gram. There you go. Make sure it's all out, by the way. Look at that. Anything in there? And if there's anything really still stuck in there, because you want to make sure you get all of it, what you want to do is rub your finger, just get all
This is
of
Kamala's economy.
that stuff right there. That's food. Okay?
That's right there.
protein right
That
there.
was 5 cents.
That's how hard it is to crack it. By the way, it's not funny either, Kamala.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, people. They treat us like we are idiots, and the problem is that a great many of us are. So that's okay. She's either a buffoon and a cackling idiot because she's a buffoon, or she's an actual who cracks an egg with two hands. Well, Mubase, you crack it like that and you go like that. It's one thing to be a cackling idiot, ill-equipped, untrained, ill-trained, incompetent, DEI hire because she is. We need a woman VP, Biden says. We'll get a woman VP. It's one thing to be an idiot. It's another thing to be running a malicious smear campaign, which is what they are. Yesterday was, for those of you who don't know, the it was the 3-year anniversary, the 2-year anniversary. I want to see the botched withdrawal. Let me just not make a mistake on the year. Withdrawal from Afghanistan. It was 3 or 2 years. It was 3 years. 2021. It was the 3-year anniversary, and anniversary is a sick way of putting it. It's the memory of the botched withdrawal from Afghanistan, which, according to all military tactical, anybody with half a brain, was done ass backwards. It wasn't because you had a withdrawal date that you withdraw, leaving the most vulnerable and the most strategic targets unprotected. It's not because it was scheduled that you just do it in any willy-nilly way. 3 years. It resulted in the deaths of 13 American soldiers, and yesterday was the 3-year anniversary. There was, I don't know if you noticed the talking points. Trump was at the Arlington Cemetery at a ceremony, and you see these videos going around, and you see these people criticizing Trump for having been there. Let me see this one. I want to get some of the ugly ones, because the ugly ones are so damn ugly, and they get even uglier when you understand the truth about this. Art Candy, I don't know who this. I mean, I've seen this Twitter account. It's quite clearly one of the sycophants of the Harris administration. This is what some people were saying, and the talking points were all in. This was all across the internet yesterday. Donald Trump is pretending to be POTUS again at Arlington National Cemetery on the 3rd anniversary of the withdrawal from Afghanistan. Funny, because if he cared about the 13 lies, is this one going to do the suckers and losers lie again? Repeat the suckers and losers lie? No, they don't. Funny, because if he cared about the 13 lies that were lost, they were killed as a result of incompetence of the Biden administration. Corruption, incompetence, if not worse. If he cared about the 13 lies that were lost that day, then he would have left a withdrawal plan with this is like, it's almost parody level stupidity. Here's your withdrawal plan. Don't abandon the airport before you've secured a way of removing the weapon. Here it is, Joe Biden. Step 1, don't be an idiot. Step 2, make sure you secured things. But no, he didn't leave a plan. He didn't. So he's culpable for their deaths. Shameful man. Oh. All right, that's one attack. Stupidity. The other attacks are suggesting that he didn't have the right to be there because he wasn't POTUS. Hold on, let me see if I can get this one here. Oh, here's one from Wu-Tang is for the children. My God, these families really let Trump do a photo ops at Arlington National Cemetery grave sites yesterday. Can you imagine anything more disgusting than some jackass on the internet lecturing the grieving families of the grieving families and the victims? Or the grieving families of the victims who are themselves victims of Biden's. This guy is going to lecture them on how to mourn and how to remember the loss of their loved ones. These people can't go to hell fast enough. But it gets even worse. He's judging the military families. It's a grotesque photo op. I will admit, there is the internal conflict. How does one take a photograph with the victims of a tragedy. I mean, it's the options are you're either always sobbing and sorrowful in the picture, or you're smiling and trying to respect and honor the memories. And you'll notice, I mean, you got family in there who seem to be the ones smiling with doing peace signs and thumbs up. Are you supposed to get in there and like and try to shame the families? No, we shouldn't be smiling. Well, I'll tell you how to mourn your loss. Horse crap. These people are, when I say demons are the ones that victimize the victims again, shaming them for how they mourn the loss of their loved ones. There was someone else who suggested that Trump wasn't even supposed to be there. Let me see this here. Because he wasn't president. And it's only up to the president to go attend ceremonies at the Arlington cemetery. And I got a DM from someone who I follow. He said, it wasn't Trump pretending to be POTUS. My retort to one of them was, yeah, Biden and Kamala Harris were not there. What does that tell you? That they don't give a sweet bugger all. I was wrong, but for even worse reasons. It was a private ceremony. Is this the article? It was. This is how the lying media reports it from Esquire. How the hell was Trump allowed to use Arlington National Cemetery as a campaign prop? This is an insult to the over. He was invited by the families for a private ceremony. I didn't even know that. I just thought Biden and Kamala Harris didn't care enough to go, although I suspect there would have been a way for them to attend. They didn't go because they weren't invited. And now that you understand, how the hell was he allowed to use the Arlington National Cemetery as a campaign? He was invited by the grieving family, you gosh-forsaken demons. And then when you understand that Biden and Kamala Harris were not invited by the families, then it becomes an even greater insult to them. The people who blame them, presumably ostensibly, for the deaths of their loved ones, don't want to have a damn thing to do with them. And so they don't get the invite. They don't get the invite. They don't get the photo op because that's all they see it as. And when Trump gets the photo op, because that's all they think that he's interested in, they then have to find a way to demonize Trump, having been invited by the families of these men and women to commemorate their loss. Where was it? It was a New York Post article. Maybe I don't have it up here. I don't have it here. It doesn't. You can find. It was a private ceremony that Trump was invited to, and they obviously took offense to not being invited, and so they unleash their propaganda machine to demonize Trump, not just for doing the right thing, but for being the one that the victims went to, for authority, for remembrance, for honor. And so once you get insulted once, what do you got to do? Darvo. Deny, attack, reverse, victim, and offender. These are the people who caused it. Now they get offended, so they got to go demonize the victims of their own negligence. It's atrocious. Let me see here. There was some more. There was some more. And it's like when we talk about one screen, two films, the left looks at Trump being there. They knew that they wanted the photo op because that's all they see victims as is props for photo ops, and they just assume that Donald Trump sees it the same way. And then you go to people who are, oh, this is who's Mike Ryerson? I'll play this. I'll play this because this is where I'm reluctant also to be too harsh on people who might themselves be veterans who take issue with this. This is the take of another person who has to find a way to demonize what Trump did. Listen to this.
2,459 Americans died in Afghanistan as part of the Operation Enduring Freedom and Freedom Sentinel. Included in the 2,459 are 13 American servicemen and women who died 3 years ago today on the final days of the Afghanistan withdrawal. On the final day, how about as a result of the criminally negligent, botched withdrawal that defied any logic in terms of how it was conducted? Okay, I fixed that for you, sir. It's worth remembering their sacrifice and what they did for our country. This guy wants to remember their sacrifice and what they did for the country, but when Trump does it, he's somehow a scoundrel. But it's also worth pointing out that Donald Trump visited them today, not because he actually cares about them or the other 2,000 plus American servicemen and women. Stop. Everyone's read Scott Adams' Loserthink. You know that someone is right into Loserthink stupidity when they start telling you not what someone did, but what someone thought and felt and intended when they did it.
You know he doesn't. How the hell do you know what Donald Trump thinks, sir?
Cares about them or the other 2,000
He doesn't care
plus
about- he
American
doesn't care about
servicemen
them.
and women,
Hmm.
but because he wanted to use us as a political stunt.
Use us. He was invited, sir.
He wanted to stand over the graves and say about how he cared about them.
He was invited by the families because they believe that Trump cares about them.
But he stood there giving a thumbs up.
And it would appear, I'm not sure if that's a family member on the right, but it would appear that the family members are smiling, honored to be in the presence of Donald Trump, who kept their family members alive when he was in office, unlike Joe Biden.
And smiling his foolish little grin, and doing it at the behest of Chris Lasivita, his campaign manager, and
this
the
is where we
OG
get into the lies, I
of
guess.
Swift voting. The guy who has been paid multiple times over his career and brags about it to abuse the memory and the honor of servicemen and women doing
I'm
heroic
sure
acts.
he abused.
It's just a pile of the most disgusting people, and it's just disgraceful. It's a part of a pattern of how he disgraces the Medal of Honor. And
Trump says Medal of Honor equivalent to much better. I'm going to tell you, if they didn't have lies, they would have
our
nothing.
service for whenever it's convenient to him. Don't fall for it. Don't accept it. Trump is losing the veteran vote because Trump doesn't respect veterans. He's unfit to lead.
Trump is losing the veteran vote, which is why the family of the veterans invited him to the private ceremony so he could celebrate it. And what does the media have to do? Demonize it, because the media are the demons. All right, check this out. By the way, we got a new member of the community. It looks like Freedom for All One. Welcome to the vivabarneslaw.locals.com community. And we got this here. FDman12 says you can't expect less from Democrats. Democrats hand-picked President Biden, VP, Deep State Intel, and DOD blood sacrificed the 13 for their father Satan. It's amazing. By the way, and the death of those 13 soldiers, military men and women, is Trump's fault, because he didn't leave a blueprint, a withdrawal plan for Biden, who was president. I mean, it's an amazing thing. Like, I firmly believe that these capital L liberals, capital P progressives, capital D Democrats, they have the mentality of a child, incapable of taking responsibility for their own failings and incapable of telling the truth when they get caught in a lie. Well, one person who gives good life advice, Chuck Norris, people. I'm not going to play the video because if you haven't seen the video, you're going to go watch the video. If you've ever been wondered what happened to the legendary Chuck Norris, I had on Austin Peterson yesterday, and he actually said something that I've never even thought of, and it sort of stuck with me. When I was a kid, Walker, Texas Ranger, Chuck Norris, the biggest badass, movie hero on earth. If ever someone had told me, Viva, he would be a sponsor of your channel, I'd like, horse crap. First of all, I would never have a channel in Florida. I would never believe it. Chuck Norris is a sponsor of the channel, and Austin Peterson, who's got his own channel. It's AP for Liberty. Fantastic guy. Check it out. Yesterday was a great interview. Check out his channel. He made me realize that, and I've sort of been, flattered ever since. But if you have ever wondered what's been going on with Chuck Norris, I recently saw this video. You're going to be shocked. He's in his mid-80s. And he's still kicking butt, working out, and staying active. What's even more shocking, he's stronger, can work out longer, and even has plenty of leftover energy for his grandkids. He did this by making one change. He says he still feels like he's in his 50s. His wife even started doing it, and she's never felt better. She says she feels 10 years younger, her body looks leaner, and she has energy all day. Every time I say she has a leaner body, I half expect Chuck Norris to roundhouse kick me to the face. That's my wife you're talking about, but I'm allowed to. Chuck made a special video that explains everything. Make sure you watch it by going to chuckdefense.com/Viva or by clicking on the link in the video in the description below. It will change the way you think about your health. Once again, chuckdefense.com/Viva. The link is in the description. You won't believe how simple it is. Just a reminder, Chuck Norris is 84 years old. He has more energy than most Americans out there, can still kick probably 95% of Americans' asses out there. That is with full respect and humor that I say that. He discovered he can make dramatic changes in his health by just focusing on 3 things that sabotage our body as we age. Watch his method by clicking on the link in the description, chuckdefense.com. Booyah. I feel like I'm getting like the Chuck Norris thumbs up in dodgeball. Oh, Lordy. FD Man says, I'm a veteran too. This vet is fooled and influenced by satanic, demonic, Democrats and neocons. No, the thing is, like, I feel I'm certainly more reluctant to, even humorously call a veteran names, even if they're espousing outright stupidity and lies. But they're just ill-informed. I mean, I thought that Biden and Kamala Harris didn't show up, just because they were doing other things. It's even worse that they didn't show up because they didn't get an invite. And that, when you're hurt and injured, hurt people. Well, Biden and Harris are hurt because they didn't get the invite, and now they got to go out and hurt other people. I'm going to show something just funny to cleanse the palate. If you're not, well, I put it on Twitter yesterday. Another thing is it 2 minutes and 45 seconds? We got an iguana in our pool. These are things we didn't have a pool in Canada. I didn't realize like everybody's got a pool out in Florida. You can't find places without pools. We don't have iguanas in Canada. And yesterday we had both an iguana in the pool. And check this out. Is it going to play? Ah oui donc. Ah oui donc, c'est la petite roulette qui roule puis qui rien qui se passe ici, tabarouette. Caroline de Bin, est-ce que ça fonctionne? Well, I guess you're not going to be able to see it because it's not playing. I hope that doesn't mean that the internet is going to crash. My kid jumped into a pool yesterday to grab an iguana by the tail to pull it out of the pool. Now, for those who don't know, iguanas will whip their tail and they can really, it's like licorice whip, crack. It'll draw blood. And I'm realizing, when it's under the water, because of hydrodynamics, which was another lesson the kid learned, it can't whip you with its tail. So it's much more vulnerable in the water. Let's see. Hold on. I want to play that here. Let's just go. I'm going to put it here. Let's see if I can get it. Hold on. On va voir. Oh, people said I could speak backwards because they don't understand French. Caroline de Bin, j'ai fait une entrevue hier en français. I did an interview yesterday in French for the Pavel Durov case. Look at this right here. Okay, check this out.
First day of homeschooling.
Eat crap.
Catching lizards. Oh my God, he's going to catch it. What's he going to do with it?
That's my boy.
What are you going to do with it?
I'm going to make it my friend, mother. And that's it. That was fantastic. That's memories, people. Memories. All right. That was the palate cleanser before we get into some more irritating stuff. Oh Lordy. We're gonna what do we want to go into? Some of the bad news. Oh, right. No, we'll do one before we get into the Zuckerberg letter. Roasted over an open flame. Jihaha says Jake V. I still haven't found a place in Florida that sells iguana taco. I will try it. I will eat them. Absolutely, without a question. Well, actually, and some of you might be thinking, well, I'm gonna puke if I think about eating iguana. If you thought the idea of eating iguana will make you puke, I don't know what universe we're living in. They are now, pushing the narrative that Kamala Harris is competent, capable of being president. She can crack an egg with one hand. It's amazing. That Trump is somehow the villain in all of this, and that Doug Emhoff, Kamala Harris's husband, is a sex symbol. You guys want to puke? I see the screen grabs and I'm like, no, it's not. This is Babylon B. This is altered news. From the Washington Compost. Opinion. I don't know if you guys have seen this. It's outrageous. Doug Emhoff, modern day sex symbol. First of all, you got Mark Hamill out there at at least visualizing in his own brain Donald Trump's penis. What he refers to as a 3-inch penis. He's at a hot dog joint that sells small hot dogs and making a Trump joke. I don't know what it is about sex and perversion that is constantly on the minds of these demonic democrats. I don't understand it. Nobody in there, you could be jacked up on 45 pounds of Viagra. Nobody is looking at Doug Emhoff and looking at that guy as a modern sex symbol. And just out of morbid curiosity, we're going to have to explore this a little bit more. Emhoff is secure enough with his own masculinity to sometimes prioritize his wife's ambitions over his own. What a unk. I might puke. This is from Catherine Rampel. Oh, okay. We'll go to her bio afterwards. Doug Emhoff has been called many things in recent years. Second gentleman, goofy dad, crappy Jew. Oh. But perhaps his most appropriate title is progressive sex symbol. Move over, Ryan Gosling. The modern female fantasy is embodied by the man who might soon become our first. Oh, by the way, don't comment on Kamala Harris's looks. Any attack on her looks is misogyny. But now the same people who say that are going to build Doug Emhoff, the goofy dad and crappy Jew, into a sex symbol. What they're trying to do with Doug Emhoff vis-a-vis a sex symbol is exactly what they're trying to do with Kamala Harris vis-a-vis a competent potential future president. They're not. They are the exact opposite. Doug Emhoff, goofy dad, is the exact opposite of Ryan Gosling. Now, I happen to have a bit of a thing for Ryan Gosling. If I don't go that way. If I were to be interested in men, I think Ryan Gosling is probably the physique, the beautiful chiseled face, soft baby blue eyes. I mean, that would be, I think, I've said too much. Nobody is looking at Doug Emhoff and thinking sex symbol any more than anybody's looking at Kamala Harris and saying competent potential president. But they've got to tell you that good is evil, evil is good, up is down, left is right, in order to sell you on the lie. I don't even know how much more we're going to go into. What the heck? Emhoff was a corporate lawyer. I miss it every day. Emhoff was a corporate lawyer and partner at a prestigious national law firm. He left the firm shortly before Kamala Harris's inauguration as vice president to avoid any appearance of conflict. He has occasionally spoken about the difficulty of walking away from that career. I miss it every day, he said in an interview. Any former lawyer who says they miss it every day is a psychopath. I'm telling you this as a former lawyer. There is not a day of my life that goes by where I say, my goodness, do I miss the practice of law? There's not a day in my life where it goes by. Even I won't say anything that might get people in trouble. Nobody says that, people. Anybody who does say that is a liar and or a psychopath and a liar. It doesn't matter. Okay. As Emhoff once told a South Korean newspaper, lifting women up so they can carry out important roles is a very manly thing. Thinking that a woman needs to be lifted up is a very misogynist thing. Get out and close the door. Do it. I've always got you. Look at this. Emhoff is not the only public figure who exemplifies the enlightened machismo. Witness the online swooning of Jonathan Owens. It doesn't matter. We're not going into this anymore. What they are literally trying to do is sell you on the lie. He's a sex symbol. Kamala Harris is a capable future president, and Catherine Rempel, New York columnist, covering whatever. Oh my goodness. I saw the headline and I thought it was a joke. There's another one, and I think it might be the same. Daily Wire. Okay, they're not citing it with approval. They're citing it with admonishment, I presume. I need to see Matt Walsh's new documentary, Am I Racist? The Washington Post. This is Daily Wire. Oh my God, she goes into the article, move over Ryan Gosling, yada, yada. What a hunk. Columnist even excuses Emhoff's scandalous romantic past with a throwaway line writing, quote, whatever his previous marital drama, Emhoff is the working woman's ideal partner. Yeah, he's a cuck. He's a cuck that nobody cares about. He can cheat on you and you still won't give a crap. Emhoff has admitted to having an affair during his last marriage. He had relations with a teacher at his children's school, and the teacher became pregnant. It's unclear if the woman miscarried the child or had the baby killed via an abortion, though two unnamed sources told CBS that she miscarried. Can you imagine that? Oh my gosh. Yeah, he's a real sex symbol. Can't keep his dick in his pants. Oh, as highlighted by the Daily Wire, CNN anchor Dana Bash argued that the Democratic Party was appealing to men who were not, quote, testosterone-laden, contending Emhoff and Harris VP Tim Walz can speak to those kinds of men. I'm sure they can. They can speak to effeminate men who have affairs. Well, didn't Tim Walz also have an affair? Tim Walz affair. Didn't he have sex with a nanny? Tim Walz faces backlash as you have. Hold on. Tim Walz affair. I thought he had an affair with a nanny. Chat, oh, here we go. No, it's Doug Emhoff who had the affair. Hold on. Chat, tell me, was it Tim Walz who had an affair? Let's make sure I go down here. Didn't Walz do a horse, says Comey? No, he didn't. Don't believe that. It's not even funny as a joke because it's silly. And okay, that's not... Someone in YouTube says, yeah, she miscarried because she had a medically induced abortion at an abortion clinic. Who has an act? Okay, the horse thing with Tim Walz is not true. He, if he had his stomach pumped, it was probably for alcohol because he had a DUI a long time ago, and I would not even hold that against him. But I'm going to go to vivabarneslaw.locals.com to see this here. Did Walz have an affair? And I'll get the answer there because I know that our above average community there will certainly get it. I think there's some lawnmowers outside if you guys hear some noise. So that's it. I mean, it's part and parcel of the media campaign to put lipstick on a pig when it comes to the Kamala Harris campaign. Has no one actually made that analogy? I was gonna put out a tweet, and I ran it by my brother, and he said, "No, don't do it." But the Kamala Harris campaign literally is the embodiment of putting lipstick on a pig, just trying to paint something up to make it look good. Kamala Harris is not fit to be president, and the media campaign saying that she is about as truthful as now depicting her. I won't say effeminate, but there's nothing sex appealing about Doug Emhoff, and everybody knows it. Let me go back to the locals community and see here what they have to say. Walz has to pay for that's Emhoff. Okay, fine. That's Rogue Thunder who confirms that it's Doug Emhoff. All right, that was the news to make you puke. I'll tweet that, says Gook. Someone else can tweet it. I think you know that someone's going to accuse whoever tweets that of misogyny, even though the analogy or the expression is perfectly apropos. Lipstick on a pig. Taking something and trying to dress it up so that it is appealing when in reality it's still a pig. Delicious as it might be, fried up on a pan with some bacon. Delicious, but not what they're trying to sell it as. What time is it? 41 minutes? Let us take the move here, people. If you're on YouTube, I'm going to give you the link. Come on over to Rumble. Link to Rumble. Maybe we'll do like one other thing. Link to Rumble. If you're on YouTube and you want to come straight to vivabarneslaw.locals.com, let me give you that link as well. Link to Locals. Boom. I may have missed some of the super chat here. Go for Big Guy 911. I'm not. I'll bring it up. I'm just reading a chat. And no, I'm not. That is gay. Viva. Seek help. No, look. You don't have to. You don't have to like opera to recognize good opera. You don't have to like good action movie to recognize. You don't have to like action movies to recognize a good action movie, and you don't have to be into men in order to recognize that Ryan Gosling is a fine specimen of a male, as is Brad Pitt, as is Ed Norton. All very different looks, but although I just love them both because of Fight Club. Then we got Yo Viva. Peace, sunglasses, pray, heart, thanks from the great white north. Thank you for being here. And now let me scroll all the way to the bottom, and we're good. All right, so let's do it. Let's head on over to Rumble. Vote with our feet, vote with our dollar, vote with our eyeballs. That was not what you think it was. That's the handle on my chair. And let me see the number go down on YouTube and up on Rumble before we do this. Kabuki Theater is right. Now, hold on. I had some other fun stuff in the backdrop here. Well, you know what? Actually, before we go over to Rumble, we're going to thank our third sponsor of the show. You see what I'm doing here? I'm sort of internalizing, implementing the Bongino taking a break every 15 minute strategy, because I think that is a great. When I watch Bongino and I like watching the show, I appreciate his strategy, and I appreciate the tactics and the way commercials, sponsors break up the show. Let's take a break from the insanity. Let's take a break from visualizing Doug Emhoff naked, if anybody of you were, to plan for our futures. Folks, it's no secret that we live in very uncertain and volatile times. The dollar is collapsing, and faith in our monetary system are at an all-time low, while inflation is skyrocketing. That little bit of the egg white that Kamala Harris didn't get out of the egg today would be worth 3 times more than what it was when she wasted it. No one has a crystal ball when it comes to the future, and the truth is that no one can really know what's going to happen. But you can judge the future based on the past. It's really important to protect yourself financially. I give myself financial insurance by investing in hard physical assets like gold and silver. Historically, gold and silver have been one of the safest investments, and it allows me to hedge my bets against runaway inflation. I urge you to take a closer look, protecting yourself and your investments as well. I personally trust my friends, Monetary Gold. They're legit. They'll take care of you. You can also move your IRA into gold and silver. Just tell them I sent you for a limited time. They are going to give you up to $5,000 in free gold and silver for qualified purchases. Sleep well at night knowing that you're protected. Give Monetary Gold a call now. 800-476-1303. That's 800-476-1303. And one more time, because things ring true in threes and stick in threes, 800-476-1303 or monetarygold.com. Some of you may know I'm teaching my kids some so where we'll talk about it more on the local side, but we're making some interesting decisions family-wise in terms of education, where it comes from. And one of the things I've been teaching my youngest kid now, who's at the age where he can appreciate it, and at least if he even understands the sentences, he'll be able to use them in the future. The price of technology goes down over time, and gold has always been a very, very good investment. Like it's amazing. Everyone wishes they had more of a good thing, but if you had an ounce of gold in whatever 1920, I think it was worth whatever it was worth then could have bought a house. But no, hold on, a kilo, whatever. Bottom line, an ounce of gold is worth something like hundreds of times more than it was 100 years ago. I don't know what it was an ounce 100 years ago. It's like looking at Bitcoin. The only difference is I do not yet see Bitcoin as digital gold, despite everyone telling me that's what it is, but that's because I don't understand it. Gold prices 100 years ago. Let's see what they were. Now it's $2,500 an ounce. Let's see here. What was it? My goodness. Just in 2023, in October, it was $1,800 an ounce. Let me see what I can do for the maximum timeline. 95? Well, it's wild. Gold is up like, it's get hard gold. Go to our folks there at monetarygold.com. Get some hard gold. My advice would be, don't get a kilo bar, even if you could afford it. Get ounces, because those can be concealed in bodily orifice much easily. Okay, bada bing, bada boom. That's a Pulp Fiction joke, not a sexual joke. Ginger Ninja's in the house. We're gonna do all of the good. We're at 880 and we're at 4,400. Good. Before we go over to Rumble, let me get Pasha Moyer says, I cannot hear the lawnmowers. Is this another case of big landscaping taking over the community of Viva Frei? All that I told my kid is if he wants to make money, he's not going to be able to do it via landscaping, because the locals who have the monopoly might chase him out. That is FD Man says, cast a no vote for Comrade Harris, no balls walls in 2024. We've got Ginger Ninja in the house, who made me this beautiful chess set. Not the pieces, but the board that behind me. Ginger Ninja's an amazing guy. He's got his own channel on Rumble. Austin Peterson didn't have to attack you yesterday like he did, but going after people who are extremely sensitive to I swear to you, Ginger, I don't remember him attacking me yesterday. And that might be because I'm less sensitive than anybody. I'm gonna have to go back and watch it. Or you text me. When did he attack me? What did he say? Genuinely don't remember. I don't remember, because I didn't pick up on it. If I did, I would remember it. V6 Neon says Trump has been using 47 as a brand. However, if Biden drops out, the Cackling Kamala becomes the 47. All that merch branding out the window. That's true, by the way. That's true. Oh, hold. Do y'all see this? I mean, you've seen it because I had it on the show yesterday. Hold on. On Sunday. Oops, sorry, dog. I'm stuck. I can't get it. It's the Trump shoes, but they don't say 47. They say 45 on them. Is there any realm of the universe where Biden resigns before his term? No. Is there a realm of the universe where he is he no longer holds office for natural causes, reasons, or others? Yes. There's a bet on Predicted, which I'm not taking, which says Kamala Harris is the 47th president, and you can vote, you can bet no against it, but she's got two ways of getting it. And one of them is pre-election. The other one is post-election. So, all right. Well, with that said, people, the party on YouTube is over. So I'm going to go here. Oh, it's going to be over on Twitter as well. So come on over to vivabarneslaw.locals.com or Viva Frei on Rumble.